you want to know about the Nibelheim incident, Sephiroth's departure to darkness, and everything in great detail that the games and the compilation couldn't get through, or OVAs, and you want to learn how, you just want to read something, read a good book by reading M.J. Gallagher's The Nibelheim Incident. It has the full backstory.
What is up, my Archons of Chaos? This is your king of the night, or king of the horror. Just kidding. But no, I actually want to make a video, just test out my new outro and stuff like that. And we're still in the seasons of Halloween, so we talk about scary stuff. And since, I run mostly a Final Fantasy based channel, this will be nice to talk about the scariest locations in each Final Fantasy game. One per entry, you know what it is, and stuff like that. Let's get started. Alright, let's get started with the first one that we can actually get to. Let's talk about Lightning Returns, the Cathedral. Now, normally cathedrals and churches aren't supposed to be scary locations, but the reason why in Lightning Returns it is because first, there's a pit of chaos. If you fall into there, well, you'll be lost forever. Two, when Vanille's trying to do the soul song, release the tormented and tortured souls, of the dead. So, pretty much, in short, the church is haunted. But if she does, she'll erase them from existence. So, considering the fact that Benevol's is a really messed up deity or god or whatever you want to say, Benevol's is not my god. No. Thanks to him, there's tormented souls in the cathedral, and Vanille can hear their cries over and over. Imagine, pretty much in short, the church is haunted because of the thing with the soul song and stuff like that. You play Lightning's Return. It's the third Final Fantasy 13 game in the franchise where the world comes to, and I guess they were looking for a more darker tone for that game, and it really works well with that game because it is a darker tone because it's the final days. It's pretty much the final days of that universe, so of course that had to be a little darker than the other the Lightning Saga games. So yeah, the Cathedral is the first place. Second place is Final Fantasy VIII's Lunatic Pandora. Now, it's not don't get me now, before people say I make a mistake, it's not Lunatic Pandora by itself. It's the moon. The moon where Sorceress Adele is trapped into. The evilest of all the sorcerers is trapped into the moon. As long as monsters, demons, and whatever was trapped in the moon by Lunatic Pandora. Using the technology of E-Star City, they trapped all those monsters, demons, whatever, in order to keep them at bay. With all that stuff, that's why the moon is red in Final Fantasy VIII. It's red from all the monsters and demons that pretty much corrupted the moon, and Sorceress Adele's body as well. And that's why that's why when Lunatic Pandora is like unlocked by Cypher in an underwater gate or whatever it is, underwater place, with the underwater, I think it's an underwater switch. Pretty much caused them to go back on E-Star City and start what they did before. But it's just because it's filled with so many monsters, demons, etc. So the moon is kind of corrupted, and that's why it's red. So it's really not Lunatic Pandora by itself. It's actually just E-Star City. It's moon. The moon that hovers over E-Star City, where you go into space, and then also Possessed Renoa arc as well. But let's get to the next one. The next one will be the final level of Final Fantasy Type 0. Now, why is that place so scary? It's not really on scary, but because Final Fantasy Type 0 was the first M-rated game, they get away with a lot of stuff. But it's the fact that the red liquid you see on the bottom when you fall off is actually blood. And blood will rise up to the top. So those are blood from all the people the Militestan Empire killed under Sid Olestein. That's all the blood that's in the final judgment. But the red stuff, the red water, it's confirmed to be blood all over. So it's really more of what I call a body horror than it is. It'll scare you, but it's still kind of, freaky to be in like a ancient floating temple filled with blood water following up all over you, and you'll actually die if you try that stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much, yeah. And it's made with all the people the Militestan Empire has killed. As you already know, Sid Olstein's a foul C. But he was really messed up, even worse than Bartanolonis. The death count of Final Fantasy Type 0's Militestan Empire outdoes the Niflheim Empire, the Shinra Power Electric Company, the Gustalian Empire. That pool of blood is... It's massive for a reason, because I watched Final Fantasy Peasant's video on the death toll, and Type 0 has the biggest death toll because the Militestan Empire killed too many people, and the fact that their blood is all over their temples, you do the thing. The next one is one of my favorites. This will be 4. The Shinra Manor. Now, I know all about the Shinra Manor. The Shinra Manor is haunted. As when you go get Vincent Valentine out of the casket and you go look for Sephiroth inside the library thing, you do fight disturbed creations from Hojo's experiments. And I ain't talking about the experiments that's locked in those things that look like monsters that Sephiroth was freaking about. I'm talking about there's other experiments Hojo has done, such as the Yin and Yang twins, the most disturbed monster you'll ever fight in the Shinra Manor. It has 2 sewn-on heads, so you could tell that Professor Hojo was up to some really disturbed Nazi science stuff, and well, pretty much all the monsters in that building, and I think the punky faces, the dorky faces, are actually spirits of the Shinra Manor that got killed during experimentations by the mad doctor himself, Professor Hojo. All of their, pretty much, just like how the Niflheim Empire got some Magitech facility where they turn people into demon soldiers, well, in Final Fantasy VII, Hojo has tried to turn people into super soldiers or super warriors over and over and over until Project S came around, which is Project Sephiroth, if you don't know, came around. But all the monsters in the Shinra Manor are all templates, and even Vincent Valentine himself is also a template, a little bit of a template what they're gonna do to Sephiroth in order to make him, in order to make him what he is. So yeah, pretty much, yeah, all the messed up stuff. Lucretia, Lucretia losing a lot of her, pretty much going through a huge, massive coma after giving birth to Sephiroth there. So just nothing. There's nothing more in Shinra Manor except for pain and misery, and those are the only memories. Even Cloud and Zack have bad memories in the Shinra Manor, considering they're both experimented on by Professor Hojo. So, yeah. And then Sephiroth finding out the truth of how he was made. So pretty much, there's nothing in Shinra Manor except misery and death. So, pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, it is the worst place to be in Final Fantasy. It don't matter, it's a mansion. It's a haunted mansion filled with the most disturbed depravity. Now, getting to number 5. Number 5 is the Piteous Ruins in Final Fantasy 15. Do I need to say the place looks creepy and it oozes blood? But do I need to say the Piteous Ruins is actually the creepiest place? It has black ooze all over the place. There's death traps, and then Doom Train. And then the fact that the Star Scourge originated from that place, well, until it got retconned out of there. But yes, the Star Scourge comes from this place. As you see, the black ooze is the same black ooze you see on Arden's face. And it's filled with so many traps and stuff. And the worst part is you cannot die. When you fall off, you start over and over and over in an endless loop of misery. You know, pretty much it is hell. It is Hades. That's pretty much what the Piteous Ruins is. The creepiest, and I know this, I played full playthroughs on stream of the Piteous Ruins, and, you know, the things will turn upside down all over and everywhere. And you just can't die. You just keep going through it and through it and through it and through it until one day it breaks your sanity, and then you become insane. When you get out of the Piteous Ruins, you're already too messed up. You're too messed up to do anything else because of all the messed up stuff in the story and the lore of Ifrit. I think the Piteous Ruins has something to do with Ifrit, of why, Ifrit's, a fall from grace. And it tells a good story about how everything happened in a more way where it's, you pretty much you're in Ifrit's head. Even though I said it's Rama's head, you're technically in Ifrit's head, and you're starting, the level makes you think like Ifrit, as Ifrit was tortured, tormented, and even worse, Ifrit's mother Eos was tortured to death. Tortured, maimed, whatever have you. As you see the statue of Eos fall to the ground after you jump on her, and you get the Genji gloves, because she gave the Genji gloves as two beginnings, and Eos had two regular sons, which would be the Lucius Kaidan family, Arden and Izunia. But she was punished. She was put down there, trapped down there, maimed, killed, punished. So it's a place of misery, sadness, and it's hell. Because you keep going down, deeper and deeper, and there's levels just like hell is. And you cannot die. You just repeat the cycle over and over again. So I'd have to say the Piteous Ruins is the scariest location of Final Fantasy ever. So may the crystal be with you. And tell me your scariest locations in the comments below.
Also working on a Vincent Valentine web series, fan trailer at least. So please support JTS Productions if you want to see a Vincent Valentine, trailer. And then hopefully one day it becomes a web series. So there's that too.